So I just got finished doing 18 field agent gigs in about 2.5 hours, and it was crazy, and I want to share with you what I learned. Number one is if you see a gig on field agent that's only maybe $3, $4, $5, it may seem like it's not worth it to go all the way out there and do the gig if it's not that close to you. But a lot of times I found that once you accept one gig at a certain store, you will get multiple. So I accepted a $3 gig at the Sam's Club by me, and then I kept refreshing it. And by the time I actually went to Sam's Club to do the gig, I had 8 gigs at that Sam's Club. So that makes it more profitable because you don't have to drive to a bunch of different places and you're staying in one store. Now, another thing is when you're doing big stores like Sam's Club or Walmart, especially the Walmart by me, which is super huge, and you have multiple gigs, once you get to know that store, try not to go back and forth. So one of the gigs was for the hair care products. So I knew the hair care products were when you walk in the door to the left. And then I had another gig that was for snacks and crackers. And then there was another one for software, and then another one for baby products. So just like doing any other job, my background is in construction, HVAC, dryer vent cleaning. So with the biggest rule in that type of work is you never go empty-handed, you never go back and forth. So I did the personal care, the hair care gig that was to the in the front of the store to the left, and then I went to the computer section, which was in the back in the middle, and then I finished in the food department and did the grocery gigs. Next is plan your route. So it's good to have multiple gigs at the same location, but that's not always going to be the case. So try not to drive back and forth. Try to make a good route so you don't spend that much money on gas. These gigs were all within 5 miles of my house, so I only drove 5 miles and I made about $90 in 2.5 hours. Another thing that I learned is you have to be discreet with this, but some stores, some managers don't want you going and taking pictures of their shelves without proper ID or a letter of authorization. Some of these apps like Observa and Survey Merchandiser will give you a letter of authorization to print out, but most of the field agent ones, especially the ones that only pay $3 to $5, are not going to give you a letter of authorization. So there's a couple of things you could do. Number one is don't do like the pose when you're posing and taking like a picture or a selfie. Make it look like you're just on your phone and texting. And if you have a newer phone, you could actually get the pictures while you're walking at a decent pace to not draw attention to yourself. These gigs are to go check up on the management at the store and make sure that they're displaying the products correctly. So managers and stuff don't want you coming with no authorization and taking pictures of their stuff. So at my last gig, I was heading home and I had one more gig at the Family Dollar. Now, these ones are going to be more difficult. If you have a store like CVS, Family Dollar, or even liquor stores, it's a very small store and it's harder for you to blend in. Sam's Club, Walmart, there's so much stuff going on that they can't really pay attention to everyone, and it's easy to get away with taking these pictures. But I had my last one. I was kind of tired. It was my 18th gig in a very short amount of time, so I pulled up into the Family Dollar to do one more before I went home, and I was kind of in tunnel vision, just like work mode, wasn't really paying attention. And my mistake was there was a big truck outside, and it was their delivery day where they got their inventory and they were packing it out. So as I got to the section, I think it was for the laundry detergent, I had a couple pictures left. I'm taking my pictures, and then it happened. Manager goes, "Hey, what are you doing taking pictures in my store? What the heck?" And got a little bit upset with me. And I told him, my name is Justin. I'm doing the field agent app. I just got to finish this, and I'll give you a good rating. And then he asked me, "Do you have a letter of authorization? You can't take pictures in my store without a letter of authorization." So that was my second mistake. If you ever get contacted by a manager, don't mention that you're working. Don't mention that you're making money. Don't be like, "Oh, I'm just doing this to make money," or "I'm doing the field agent app." just tell them you're scanning products to see if there are any coupons. This is allowed in the store, and technically it is kind of what you're doing. So he had to call his boss and then his boss's boss, and it took longer than the whole gig would have took just for him to tell me that I can't take pictures without a letter of authorization. So try to be discreet. Some tips are, number one, I have a phone case on my phone that when you look at it from an angle, it looks like the phone's off, so people can't see what you're doing and see what you're taking pictures if they're trying to look at your phone. Another thing is maybe carry a basket or push a wagon. Push a wagon, put some stuff in it, especially if it's like a grocery store and you had to get stuff anyway, then they're less likely to bother you if you look like you're actually shopping and not working. So click the link down below to sign up for Field Agent because it is a great opportunity if you know how to do it correctly.